First, let's talk about something that seems obvious but is often overlooked. Don't ignore your bills. I know how tempting it can be to shove that envelope in a drawer and hope it just magically disappears, but medical bills don't go away. In fact, the longer you wait, the more complicated they can become. Interest might get added, late fees can pile up, and worst of all, your account could be sent to collections, damaging your credit score for years. So even if you can't pay the full amount right now, open the bill, review it, and face it head on. Just acknowledging the debt is the first step toward solving it. Now, once you've opened that bill, here's a really important step. Double-check everything. Did you know that studies estimate nearly 80% of medical bills contain errors? That's a huge number. It could be something as simple as a duplicated test, a medication you never received, or even being charged for the wrong room or service. I once heard a story about someone being billed for a 3-night hospital stay when they were actually discharged after just 1 night. Mistakes like this happen more often than you think. So take the time to go line by line through the bill. If you don't understand something, call the billing department and ask for an itemized statement. You might be surprised at how much money you can save just by catching errors. After that, don't be afraid to negotiate. A lot of people assume that medical bills are set in stone, but in reality, they're often negotiable. Hospitals and clinics would rather get some payment than none at all, so they're usually open to working with patients. A simple phone call where you say, "This amount is too high for me to pay. What can we do?" can sometimes reduce your bill by 20, 30, or even 50%. It doesn't hurt to ask, and you'd be amazed at how many people save hundreds or even thousands of dollars this way. If negotiation alone doesn't solve it, ask about payment plans. Most hospitals and medical providers will let you set up an interest-free payment plan where you can break down a huge bill into smaller, more manageable monthly payments. Instead of stressing about paying $5,000 at once, you might only have to pay $100 or $200 a month. And since these plans are often interest-free, you won't be racking up extra debt in the process. Just make sure you commit to paying regularly, because consistency is what will help you make progress. Another important tip is to see if you qualify for financial assistance. Many hospitals, especially nonprofit ones, have charity care programs for patients who meet certain income requirements. Even if you don't think you qualify, it's worth checking. You might also find state programs, nonprofits, or even church organizations that help families with medical debt. A lot of people miss out on these opportunities simply because they don't know they exist, so do some research and apply. If you have a health savings account or a flexible spending account, make sure to use those funds. The money in these accounts is tax-free and designed specifically for medical expenses. By using HSA or FSA money, you're not only paying off the bill, you're also saving on taxes, which is like getting a discount. It's one of the smartest ways to handle medical costs if you have access to it. Now, here's where things get a little tricky. Sometimes people panic and throw their medical bills onto a credit card. And while it feels like a quick solution, it can actually make the problem much worse if you don't have a plan. Credit cards usually come with very high interest rates, which means your debt will grow faster than you can pay it down. If you've already done this, focus on paying off the card with the highest interest rate first. That way you'll stop the bleeding before it gets worse. But if you're feeling lost, there are professionals who can help. Medical billing advocates are people who understand the healthcare system inside and out. They can review your bills, find mistakes, and even negotiate with providers on your behalf. Yes, they charge a fee, but often the amount they save you is much larger than the fee itself. Think of it as hiring someone who speaks the same language as the billing department, and it can really make a difference. If you're juggling multiple bills, another option to consider is consolidation. Instead of paying 5 different hospitals, clinics, or labs separately, You could take out a personal loan with a lower interest rate and pay everything off at once. This way, you're left with just one monthly payment that's easier to track and manage. Some people also look into medical credit cards that offer zero-interest promotional periods, but you need to be careful with those. Make sure you can pay them off before the interest kicks in. Finally, and this is probably the most important tip of all, stay consistent and keep track of your progress. Paying off medical debt isn't something that happens overnight. It might take months, maybe even years, depending on your situation. But every payment counts. Even if you can only afford $50 this month, that's still progress. Celebrate the small wins and remind yourself that you're moving forward. Keep a chart, use an app, or simply write down how much you've paid off. It will keep you motivated. At the end of the day, medical bills are stressful, but they don't define you. Everyone goes through challenges, and this is just one of them. What matters is that you're taking action. You're facing the problem, finding solutions, and step by step, you're moving toward financial freedom. So, to quickly recap, don't ignore your bills, check for errors, negotiate whenever you can, ask about payment plans, apply for assistance programs, use your HSA or FSA, be smart about credit card debt, consider working with a billing advocate, look into consolidation, and above all, stay consistent. With these 10 strategies, you'll be in a much stronger position to tackle your medical bills and relieve some of that financial stress. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you feel a little less alone and a little more empowered, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more helpful tips, and share it with a friend or family member who might also be struggling with medical debt. Remember, you're not alone in this, and there are always options. Take care of yourself, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.